let's get down to brass tacks. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, back in the kill zone. Me and Jake hanging out. What's up, bro?
What's up? How are you, man?
You know, bro, that is a question. That is a question. But we're here. We're ready to rock and roll. And for you guys that are here, we appreciate you coming by. And we might have our good friend Fate Decided coming in with us and hanging out. And we're going to talk some strangers, chapter 2. And like, is there any way that we can have a 180 from chapter 1? So we'll get into that. And, non spoilery. We know that a lot of folks haven't seen it yet, but I know some folks want to hear our thoughts because last week on Jake's channel, we started that conversation, which was a blast, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Digging deep. And before we get into it, I obviously would be remiss to not take a second. Actually, a couple of minutes. It will be a couple of minutes. Just to give a tribute to our brother Stephen from Craven Something Scary, and for all of you guys in the community. Even in our extended communities, some channels that I didn't even know we had, reach with. I just personally want to say we really appreciate all of the words of support and encouragement and love and understanding. I myself personally, I haven't really said much at all. It's just, some things just hurt too much, bro. And I know you know what I mean. But now, we're here and we want to continue the things that Stephen loved so much. He loved talking about movies. He loved his audience. He loved people that weren't even his audience. That's the type of person he was. And I want to say I'm proud of him. I want to say that I congratulate his 4 years. We really wanted to celebrate that with him. And I'm going to tell you guys, he was ready to celebrate. He was excited. But we weren't able to do that. But he's here. He's here, man. So for everyone that's reached out, so many friends from the last several years, new friends, people I don't even know, thank you. And I know that this hurts you as well. to our moderators, um, Julie, May, Sarah, Val, Erica as well. We thank you guys for just being awesome as you always are. Stephen loved you guys so much. We do as well. Um, we can't do what we do without you guys helping us out. So I want to thank you guys. So many of you guys were reaching out multiple times a day. These are things that are special. This is stuff that it means a lot. And if I've learned anything from Steven is to, just appreciate that moment, you know, to try to spread kindness and love. Um, that's what he did to everyone. Always. He was the best at it. So I just wanted to say that. And, you know, to Jake, obviously to Tyler, I love you guys.
I love you too, man.
And I'm glad, for us doing the things that we've done, as the collective, and all of us have been on each other's channels and stuff, and it's very special. And I'm glad that we had the chance as well, you know, a few days before to be on camera together, to have our conversations, to talk, to think about things. And at the end, like it always is with Steven, I love you guys. I love you, man. I love you, brother. And we all say that. Let me tell you what, guys, especially for my friends that are guys, get ready for a lot of love because I'm going to be saying that a lot more. That's a thing I'm also going to carry from him among so many other things, but I'm going to be saying that a lot. So guys, get ready. It's going to be a lot of love. Um, just to appreciate people in this community. So I say all that to say we love you, Stephen, and we're going to take some time to continue to to um, to grieve. We're also going to take some time to plan and to celebrate him, in a much grander way. But tonight, being the first time that at least a couple of us are together, we just wanted to take a moment in the beginning to say that to everyone. And again, just thank you to everyone who's reached out in the community, to all of us. And, speaking for myself, it's just been unbelievable. It really has. And it helps, like he always said, we do life together, never alone. And Jake, I'm telling you, man, if there was ever a time to believe that, it's right now.
Yeah.
It really,
He,
really is.
I I love that you're bringing that up about him because he really was just the most tender dude behind the scenes, in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I think when we all started doing this, it was fun. It was like we were friends coming together to talk about our favorite movies, but it became more than that. You know what I mean? I mean, we've done all of this together in a lot of ways, and I owe a lot of everything that's happened to Steven, to you, to Tyler, and I'm just I'm grateful for every step of the way, man. So I'm gonna miss him dearly, and I'm thankful for every single moment and stream that I got to have with him, and I'm also really grateful for all the people sharing different clips of all the different streams we did this week. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but I'm remembering things that I totally forgot about this week, and each one, it hits. It hits a little bit. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got a chance to see a few things, and it was great. because that picture I had at the end of the countdown, um, it was the first time that I kind of was able to smile and laugh, you know, during all this because I looked at the picture, um, and we all just had these cheesy grins, you know, and it was something that we did a lot, um, and it was fun to do, and it was easy to do, and so it was great to see moments like that. It really it was cool. It just makes you remember those things and hold on to those things. So many folks, I won't go through all the names, but so many folks, that was something that they also kind of held on to, is the good times, the memories, the moments where they felt lifted by him. um, and it is special because I know for you, I know for me, for Steven, for Tyler, and for so many content creators, doing this is our way to connect with our passion, because we may not have that ability in our everyday lives with so many people. We might have a couple, obviously for me, my brother, and obviously Coriander, but, to do it on this scale, this is special. And who would have thought that you'd make some friends, lifelong friends, friends that you cherish, and he, like I said, he said we do life together, and it's so true.
Yeah.
um One other thing I want to do before we get into some strangers talk, and I know the chat, I know you guys are here, we see you guys, we thank you. um and I always try my best to one thing Steven used to always say to me, he's like, I love how you interact with the chat, and I'm like, I don't think I do it as well as you think, man. You do it really well, and he's like, yeah, Jake does too. And I'm like, well, so does Tyler. It's like, we try to interact as much as we can. But tonight, I'm definitely going to be way behind. But we do see you and we thank you. But one thing I wanted to read, this will be the last thing I wanted to do. I got a few messages from people, and everything was lovely. But this was just one thing that had come to me at a certain point when, I was really super low. And it was from Kelly. And, she asked me if I could share this. And I also wanted to. Um, it says, and of course, this is for Stephen. It says, a man so kind, considerate, loving, and strong, not having him here with us feels so wrong. A horror genius with an amazing mind, not a better human being on earth you'll ever find. The godfather of Woodsboro was so very true. His heart and soul was poured into all that he would do, reminding us we are worthy and loved, accepting people as they are. He never judged. He conducted the stew train with steadfastness and zeal. The people versus Stu Mocker was the real deal. A little rock and roll and mustard that's spicy, super chat clips that at times were a little dicey. Part of a collective that is lethal. On every chat or stream, he was nothing but gleeful. A life well lived, a battle well hard fought. He gave us lessons in humanity that can't be bought. The Cravenites are missing you more than you know, but we have countless memories that keep you with us, given you had to go. An angel on earth, now one with wings. How very blessed are the heavenlies. His impact and legacy on us all is legendary. We'll never forget you, Stephen. We'll always be Craven Something Scary. So I thought that was amazing. Thank you, Kelly. And thank everyone for your kindness. All right, Jake, we talked. What a segue this is. I told
Yeah,
you
I'm
this
like, hey, take your
backstage.
time. Take your time, man. We don't gotta rush into it.
I know, man. I'm trying. Um, and shout out to the mods too. Val was saying, take that breath, just talk to him before you get backstage. And I did. I said, I love you, bro. And we're going to talk about you a little bit, you know. Um, but yeah, you know. So when we talked about The Strangers and what we were expecting, what we were afraid for, what we were hoping for, and all of that, we hadn't seen it. I saw it. You saw it. How about if we just start to tiptoe into this a little bit? Maybe kind of like with an overview, maybe of some of your thoughts. We'll stay as non-spoilery as we can because we know a lot of people haven't seen it. But I thought that this would be fun as a continuation from your stream last week.
Yeah, I'll kind of kick it off a bit. I will say this about the film. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to, and I'm a little surprised by that. I still stand by the fact that I think the first one is a 0 out of 10. I was just not really not with that one. I just, when I come to a new movie, if I'm going to pay money to go to the theater to see it, I want to see something fresh. I want to see something something offer up some, give me a reason to be here. And I just feel like that movie was just rinse and repeat the same sequences from the previous installments.
Yeah.
This movie, at the very least, did find a way to create new scenes that weren't just things ripped from previous entries in that franchise. So I'll take that. I will.
Yeah.
Hell, they actually came up with original sequences, and I'm like, okay, the slow clap was happening during those first 30 minutes. But outside of a few little slivers of moments of tension, I was pretty disappointed. It just feels like a film that is spinning its wheels. It's just a constant, inconsequential chase sequence where not a whole lot's going on. There's an animal attack. We're not getting into spoilers, but that just kind of happens. So there's this great clip of Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I'm so sorry, going off the rails here.
It's okay.
Steven would love that, though. He would have been all about that.
Yeah.
There's this great clip of Trey Parker and Matt Stone talking about story progression and how to build intrigue essentially amongst your audience, like what keeps them invested in a good story. And they essentially break it down to, if between all of your different plot points, there's the words, and then this happens, like, okay, this happens, and then this happens, and then this, that's boring. That's not a story. That's just a bunch of things put together.
Yes.
And though, to build a consequential story, you want to say, like, this happens, therefore this thing must happen after that. But this other thing comes in and changes it completely. This movie is, this thing happens, and then this thing happens, and then this thing like, it's just constant, like, here's just all this crazy shit happening. And I don't know. I guess we learn a little lore about the Strangers, but it doesn't matter to the story.
It does. Yeah,
it doesn't at all. I don't know. It was just one of those things that kind of had me scratching my head. I wish that Gregory wasn't standing so close to me the entire movie. I could smell his breath in the theater. I don't know, man. It was just kind of, it was like, I'll give it a 2 out of 10 versus the 0 out of 10 that came before it. So it's a slight step up. That's probably the only thing I disagree with when it comes to the majority consensus on the reviews. I liked this one just an inch better than the previous installment.
Well, let me say this real quick, and then I think we have our good buddy here, and I'll be right there. But let me just say this. I hated the first one so much. I mean, I railed on that, which I don't do that a lot. I pick my spots. You know what I mean? And
pick
I
your
railed
battles,
on
man.
it. I did. Well, yeah, you got to, man. You got to. I'm old. So listen, it just was so unoriginal. So I'm not gonna lie. When I left the theater from this one, I was kind of like, yeah, all right, because if nothing else, for the fact that we were doing some new stuff. Now, I totally agree. The story was definitely, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And that was like, oh my God, come on. And I also agree about the whole lore that they were trying to kind of go into. And I was like, this means nothing to me. this means nothing. I don't care. And it's so cliched. I won't go into spoilers. Um, but and maybe it's just because I'm just, again, I'm trying to be in this love bubble. Because you know, our good brother Steven, he's just got me thinking about love, 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 and I love it. Um, I didn't hate this movie, is what I'm getting at. I didn't hate it. I won't say that it was good per se. I might give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I'd have to watch it again too, um, because I went in with that cautiousness, like we talked about last week. And so as things were happening, it was more like I was reacting to it from the negativity of the first rather than just let me watch it and just take it in.
Yeah.
um, which doesn't happen with me a lot. But like I said, that first one pissed me off so much, and the fact that we were doing some new stuff. And I will say, I think Madeline, was good in it. Again, I enjoyed seeing her in it. There was some really cool stuff in it. I did appreciate her trying to, um, make smart choices. Obviously, you got to have some dumb choices too, but. Um, I just appreciated her in it. So that's all I'm going to say. I think I'd give it a 4 or 5 out of 10. But real quick, we've got our good buddy in the back waiting to get in. He's going to like jump through the screen. Let's bring him in. Fate decided. What's up, Tyler?
What's going on? What's
What's
going
up,
on?
man? Hey, bro.
No, we're here. We're
We're
here.
here, man. Um, I did you see The Strangers Chapter 2?
Uh, no.
You're missing out.
To be honest,
Oh man.
so I saw, obviously I saw the first one, but
Yeah.
the first one I was kind of like, I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wasn't something that I was running to the door to. All I've heard are bad things about it. So again, I'm not like running to the door to go see it. Probably
Yeah.
one of those things where I'm just like, when I get the opportunity, maybe I'll squeeze it in or wait for streaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
This feels like a movie that you pirate. That's what this feels like.
Oh, jeez. Don't say that over the air. Much love to you too, Kenny. And thank you, all of you guys in the chat. Again, I was way behind. We do see
Allegedly.
you guys here. But what would you say?
I said allegedly. Allegedly pilot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right. Um, I just want to say this too, because in the beginning, I know that you were running behind or whatever, but I did obviously send up some love to our brother, and obviously Jake did as well. I hadn't spoken about it publicly, until tonight, and I know you guys did. By the way, and I will be watching, but I just couldn't, you
No,
know, I just couldn't. But I just wanted to, if you had anything you wanted to say, I just wanted to make sure that you got a chance, because this is the first time that,
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. This is the first time we are together since the last time
Yeah.
we talked to Steven.
Yeah.
Literally. The little meeting that we had. I mean, obviously, like even the video, I tried to keep it as light as I could, just because Craven, he told us he doesn't want us to, let's celebrate his life in a lot of ways. Obviously we're all, going through a million emotions and a million kind of feelings about it and whatnot. But I mean, the impact that he's had on everybody, the what he's done for so many people. I mean, that deserves praise, love, and his legacy to live on through the collective and this community and stuff. He was such the the glue that held all of us together and stuff. And I mean, just so much. He did more for the community than anybody. All the streams that he did, having huge streams where like people are literally waiting in the queue for an hour to
Yep.
get on and stuff like that. Like it's just it's obviously it's tough, it's hard, and we're all, it's gonna be weird for a while. But like Craven wanted us to keep doing it. Like I mean, literally, he told us, keep
Yep.
doing the Lethal Collective, and he said he wants to be remembered. He wants us to talk about him, right? Like, so, obviously doing the video, Jake did his video, and I followed suit. And at first I didn't know if I even should, like I was like, like, is this something to even, like, maybe I should wait for the stream? But there's just so many questions, so many, and I just felt like it's probably good to at least acknowledge it, rather than, and so many people are, mourning and going through it and have question stuff. And plus, I thought it
Yeah.
was good to get some kind of key points across, such as, like, hey, be kind to the family, don't go asking questions, and trying to, like, whatever we can divulge, we can divulge. But everything has a time. I know a lot of people. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
still getting comments like every day for people. They're like, "What happened? How did, like,
Yep.
It's like, we want to be respectful, because yes, we're mourning and we're hurting, but so is his family and his
Mhm.
loved ones. And so we got to. It's easy to get lost in our emotions.
It
We,
is.
we got to be mindful for the ones that were closest to him, that are all going through it. So, I felt it was good to make that video and kind of shine some light on what I could, but also just kind of let people know, like, hey, like, we got to make sure that we're being mindful, type
Yeah.
thing. And, we have each other, this community, all of us, to kind of help get through this, which is more than a lot of people have in situations like this. The fact that we
That's
have,
true.
so many of us that are, willing to, reach out to each other and all that stuff, be there for your neighbor, so to speak. So, but I mean, look, Craven was, words don't even describe Craven, right? Like, you hear people talk like, oh, he's the kind of guy that take his shirt off his back. He'd take his shirt, his shoes, his jacket. You want his car? Here you go. Like, whatever you need to just get by. Like, he's there's
That's true.
very few people in this world like that, like anybody. And I mean, he was just but we love him. His memory will live on. We'll all make sure of that. And doing this collective and sticking with it, and making sure we have a seat open for him and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I don't want to ramble too long. But
No, man.
we love you, Stephen. We know you're watching us and you're still here, and the memory will live on.
Absolutely, man. There's no doubt about it. And I think, like you said, he would want us to remember the good moments and to keep going on and keep the memory alive, like he said to us. I also want to say a special, you know, sending of love to Michael, from the Movie Bros. And, again, there's a lot of people, like you said, Tyler, that, they're going through this process. And, we want to respect that. But I just want to say to Michael, we love you too, man. And thank you for being a brother as well. And, personally helping us through this. I've been on the phone with him and we've had conversations, and it's, it helps, like you said, we've all got each other. So, but I'm glad we're here tonight, man. And
Yeah.
I know Steven is glad as well. So, um, let me, Jake, I'm gonna go back to you. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I do want to just real quick, we've got some folks in the chat with some anniversaries, and I know that we've got some well wishes that I want to also make sure that we get through. So I'll try to run through these real quick. Gina, hey Gina, how you doing? Healing snuggles to all from Ziggy. Thank you so much, Gina. Seriously, and thank you for all the support. 28 months. You guys know I'm not even gonna say that type of stuff tonight. It's amazing, it really is. But what I do want to say, even more amazing, Gina, thank you for the encouragement and the love in the messages. And I didn't get a chance, well, I should say I wasn't even able to answer a lot of the comments, and messages, but I saw them, and I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Gina. And thank you, Ziggy. Oh jeez, Sarah, thank you. Stephen always said life is uncertain. Eat your dessert first. He did. Man, I'm gonna miss him. We're gonna keep his legacy alive in the community.
Right.
Absolutely, no doubt. And you know what I'm gonna do for Halloween? And I know he's has said this on streams before, but he loved candy corn and the autumn mix, the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Like he loved those and he would
Hmm.
talk about those all the time. So I guarantee you guys, we're going to try to do some fun stuff, obviously, for spooky season. I'm
Yeah.
going to be eating some candy corn and thinking about my bro. I
Yeah.
really am. No doubt. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for everything. And again, you mods. And there's another one, Val. You guys are amazing. 36 months, 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Just crazy. Thank you, Val. She's saying, rest in peace, dear Stephen. Till we meet again, love you to the moon and back, now and always. Thank you to the Mod Squad for being there for me. Love you, girls. Absolutely. You guys are amazing. And like I said, I can't count the amount of messages that you four have sent. And I just really appreciate it, checking on me, checking on Coriander, who, by the way, we'll be doing hopefully some streaming next week. Obviously, you guys know she was very close to Steven too, and she loves him, and she's also processing things too. So I just want to say that, as well as Kill. I talked to Kill about it, and he just couldn't believe it, and obviously sad. So, but everyone sends their love to all of you, and thank you guys. Marcus, oh my God, Marcus as well. Shot him 6 times. What's up, bro? He says, I know a lot of people don't care for Strangers Chapter 2, but I personally enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see how this story ends. Anyone who hasn't seen it, stick around for the post-credit scene. That's a good point, Jake. How about if we go there? As far as I know, we kind of did an overview, but once we got to the finale, did anything surprise you? I mean, obviously we knew it was probably going to do some new things, but was there anything that stood out surprising you, or anything in the finale or the post-credit scene?
Well, yes, yeah. There's, can I say? Can I say? I mean, I don't know if it's not. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm like, I think I can talk about it. It doesn't feel like a spoiler because it's in the trailer for the next movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's
during
true.
during the mid-credit scene, they play what is essentially a trailer for Chapter 3.
Yes.
And you're gonna see it eventually when the trailer, because like this is the teaser trailer for Chapter 3, like it's gonna come out. It is a shot of Maya, and she's wearing a stranger's mask with the strangers.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there after this movie, and I'm looking at that, and I'm just thinking to myself, that's not earned at all. Like what like what do you like how Maya and the strangers are at the exact same place that their relationship was at the end of 1. Nothing has changed. Nothing has, like, she has no, she does. Here's the thing too, the lore thing that is being introduced and injected into that movie does not affect the story, and Maya is not aware of it by any means. So it's not like she's feeling some sort of sympathy for them. You know what I mean? Like, there's just nothing happens in Chapter 2 that could possibly set up that. You know what I mean? And maybe if there was an inkling of that in this movie, I could get into it, but it's just such a, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, how are we possibly getting to that in the next movie? I don't know, man. This trilogy is doomed.
Okay.
Well, I do want to say, like I said, obviously I haven't seen Chapter 2 yet, but like part of the thing that made the original Strangers, like not the first, in this trilogy, the first one, I'm talking about the original, right?
Yeah.
Was Liv Tyler. The thing that made that great is I thought was the mystery. Right? I've talked about, like, one of my favorite lines in the entire, like, in horror period is like, why are you doing this? Because you were home. And then the remake ruins that. and it's just like, but it was just great because it was just like, it's I've talked about it for Scream and other things. Like, you can't explain crazy, right? Like you can try to justify it, you can give them like motives or whatever. At the end of the day, they're just crazy. And I love the thing that I love about the Strangers, the original Strangers, is that it was very like you can put yourself in that situation. You're, at this you rented this cabin, having a great night with your significant other, and then all of a sudden people break it. Like it was real. It felt honest in a way. You know what I mean? Like it felt very like relatable in a lot of ways. And you didn't have this like mythos and all this others. It was just like straightforward, hey, you just have these like this family that's crazy, that's just killing people just to kill people. And like some of my favorite, like Supernatural, Brandon and Supernatural.
Here we go. Oh man. Hey, hold on. Let me you know what? Let me just say this. Steven used to always say this too. It's like he always brings up Supernatural.
The opportunity
Go ahead.
Cross it off the bingo card.
Yeah, exactly. Cross it off the bingo. But no, like one of the best episodes, like in Supernatural, is the episode where it's just a family. Like it's not like, and one of the like running themes throughout the show is that like humans are what's so scary. Like the monsters, stuff like that are scary. But they're not as scary because they're there. They're like it's obvious. Like, oh, monster, right? Like, but humans, like real humans, are the scariest because it could be your sister, your brother, your pastor, your teacher, your whatever. And like that's the thing. I love movies that feel real. Like I've never had a paranormal experience or anything like that. I'm super fascinated by it all. I love it all, but I can't put myself like I love a good Conjuring movie, but it like even like paranormal. Like how many people have had like those over the top extreme paranormal things, right? Like and if you have, I'm sorry, but like for me personally, I can't put myself in those shoes. But something like The Strangers, anybody from 60 to 16 can all put themselves in that position of like, hey, like, oh man, I want to, go to a cabin in Big Bear or whatever with my girl, and just some craziness happens. And I just feel like they're turning, like we've seen with other franchises, right? Like when you start to explain the crazy, you start to it loses a lot of its essence. We've seen it with even iconic horror franchises where they start trying to explain too much, with like Jason and Freddy and
Michael.
And Michael, and they're trying to, like they try to add a level of humanity to them, and it's like that's you're getting away from what makes it great. So
agreed. Absolutely agreed. And you get into these potholes because it's like you're never going to satisfy what we already had in our mind. When you think about, like, let's take Freddy, 84, it's a classic. He comes around that corner, he's chasing Tina, and shit goes down, and it's like, okay, this is scary. You get to the 6th movie and now we're talking about demon worms that chose him to give him the power. It's like, no, bro, come on, don't do that. I mean, that's just not cool.
Well, they had like 15 different lores for him too. At first, he was like the son of 1,000 maniacs or whatever.
Yeah. What happened to that? It's like, hold on, bro. That's what it was all about.
Like, that was the last movie. Forget about that.
It changes every movie, man. Oh man, that lore is a nightmare.
It is.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need to explain everything. Like sometimes the best way to go about it is just keep it what it is. It's scary. It's crazy. It's you got this family that's just brutal, and it's like, why are they doing it? Why not? Like Supernatural, that episode when they're like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this to people? And they're like, because it's fun. Like that's terrifying. Like that's terrifying. Like it's just like. Because it's fun, because you were home, like stuff like that. It's so fun, which by the way, that episode came out before Strangers. So I think Strangers bit off of Supernatural. Just saying.
Man.
Wow. Poor Brian Bertino, man. Like, come on.
Who am I?
Wow. Hey, real quick too, let me just jump in and hey to everyone here and people that have jumped in. And you guys are loving that poem. Again, Kelly did a fantastic job. Polar was saying, can you post it? I told Kelly I was going to share it. I'm definitely gonna put that out there. It was fantastic, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it really it really lifted me up when I needed it. And so many of you guys, shout out to everyone, again, to reaching out to all of us and to each other. You guys have been there for each other as well, and it's beautiful. And I know our brother would love to have seen that. That's what he was all about. Um, we have a couple other messages here. I just wanted to get to Kelly herself also with an anniversary, 4 months. Thank you, Kelly. And again, thank you for that beautiful poem saying, love you all so very much. Glad I'm a part of this amazing family. I'm blessed to be here with all of you. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. Seriously. We love you. We appreciate that. And again, thank you for all the messages. It's just been amazing. Same thing for my man, Super Tenor. Um, Bro, thank you. 21 months for an anniversary. Much love to all of you, fam. God bless Stephen. Just imagine he'll be there when we get to heaven. There you go. There you go. We also have Jack. What's up, Jack? And Jack, I hope you're hanging in there too, man. We had um, a thread that we had with Stephen, and yeah, Jack, I hear you, man. Thank you so much, man. Steven was the GOAT. I miss you, buddy. You're now getting the entire Scream scoop from the man himself. We love and miss you, brother. We definitely do, man. Thank you so much. And I also want to say, Jack, thank you thank you for the kindness you also showed, Steven. Um being able to do what you did. I won't say it out here publicly because but being able to do what you did helped him so much because obviously he wasn't able to always uh, or wasn't able to keep up with things that were coming out to watch, and man, he appreciated it. He used to tell me, man, this is helping me to get through a day sometimes, and this and that. And so, Jack, I just want to let you know that personally, speaking with Steven, um, as much as I did, he said that, man. So he loved you. He appreciated that. And again, it's another one of those examples of an act of kindness. And sometimes we do these things and we don't think much of it, and that's cool. But to other people, it's like, man, it was like an amazing thing. So I'm I'm happy you did that, bro, and I love you, and Steven loved you too, man. Seriously, much love. Um, Oh my God. Come on, man. Marcus.
Oh,
Marcus, man, also reaching out, and I appreciate it, bro. I love you. And it was good to talk. It helped. It really did. Thank you for the super chat, man. Saying rest in peace, Steven. We love you, bro. One of the best people I'd ever came across in life. He led all of us to know each other and have a bond that we will all keep forever. I love you, Knight, Jake, Tyler, when he arrives. This was before you
all
came
right,
in.
all right.
Ah, and everyone in this community. Thanks, Marcus. Seriously. And like I said, man, I love you. And that's all. I love you, man. Let me do a clip and then we'll get back into some conversation. I'm going to do a clip um, that Steven used to get a kick out of so much. I mean, I love it too, but he would always, when we would do a stream, he would every once in a while he would do a request, and I'd be like, it would just crack me up because you could see that he was already like so like hyped up for it, and I'm just like, man, I hope it continues to live up to it for you, man. But anyways, this is one of the ones that he loved so much, and he would always say, "You got to play it again, play it again." Here we go. When you feel that you are out of control, you're probably not as out of control as this guy. Here it is.
Here. We're fine. It is not in the file. You son of a bitch!
There we go. That one.
That guy's angry.
Steven loved that one, man. He loved it. He would say, Knight, you got to play that again. You know, and I, personally speaking, that's some of the fun that I love about it. And I know he did too, because we can see our panel as a clip is being played. And sometimes seeing the reaction is great. And he would laugh his butt off. And I was just like, man, I'm just so glad that you love this. And so anyways, thank you so much, Marcus. We love you, bro. And yeah, we love you. Tyler, let me ask you something. Obviously you haven't seen Strangers, but if you were to guess anything about the third chapter, what would you throw out there for it? I mean, how bad is this going to get?
Chapter?
Yeah.
I mean, it can get pretty bad. I mean, we've seen some pretty bad movies. You know, I mean, you got Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills.
Here we go. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
But, I mean, no, in all seriousness, I mean, it can get pretty bad. I mean, the problem is, and we saw this with The Exorcist, right? Like, they do this trilogy before they even know if this is going to be any good or not. Like, the problem is, in my opinion, is I feel like they shot themselves 6 times. By basically remaking the original rather than telling a new story. Like, you could have had like in the ethos kind of created this new story with those characters, and I think that would have been much more well received. The problem is, like, you did essentially did you guys ever see the Cabin Fever remake that was like shot by shot,
it was ridiculous,
like, word by word? Yeah, like, you know, you basically did a similar thing, and there was a couple new things in part 1, but for the most part, it was essentially the same movie. And then now you move into part 2, and it's like, it was so bad after part 1, they had to come out and be like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna get good. We're gonna start diving into all this. Like, they literally had to release something. Like, that's usually not a good sign. So, like, how bad can it get? To, like, answer your question, bad, because the first one wasn't well received. It was so poorly received. They had to come out and be like, just wait for the next 2. And then now part 2's came back out, and I haven't heard anything good from anybody. Everyone's just like, that might have been worse than part 1. And now you're going to have part 3, and it's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It could get pretty bad.
I really do stand by that I like this one better than chapter 1, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
I would not watch chapter 1 again. I might watch chapter 2 one more time. What?
Didn't you give it a 2 out of 10?
Yes, but the first one's a 0. The first one is like it offers nothing. It offers up nothing of entertainment value to me personally.
I mean, I'll give it a 4 out of 10 based upon the fact that the whole movie, it's something different. I think Madeline, I just like her in this role. There's something that, you know, how some actors or actresses, you just gravitate and you're like, yep, I'm with them on this, you know, journey, whether the movie is good or not. So I enjoyed her. You know, one thing that I will say, and Jake, we talked about this last week, we were hoping that the kills would really you know, if you get some good kill scenes that can really, you know, bring this thing up a notch or two. And I'm going to say I was actually kind of surprised they didn't have anything really noteworthy. You know, they had a couple of gotcha moments, but nothing that really made me say, okay, you know, they're really stepping up their game. It was kind of a disappointment in that area for me.
Well, you know, Rennie Harlin is a guy that, you know, I think some may know him best from directing a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel, but like for me personally, Die Hard, you're so right, Die Hard 2. My thing is, I almost feel like he does creature features the best, and that's why I feel like he's trying to translate a lot of those skills over into maybe a genre that I feel like maybe he just again, it's nothing against him. I'm just maybe his strengths are in other places. Like a creature feature, I think is just fun and it has a lot of energy to it, has some crazy effects and some kind of scary monster lurking in the waters. But this is a very different, no pun intended, animal than a slasher flick, where I feel like you have to have unpredictability. Like you have to, every single turn of this movie, I saw exactly what they were about to do, and exactly what I thought was going to happen happened, and that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like there's no fun. You kind of got to make your audience think you're going one way and then go somewhere else with it, so that it's a shock. So that it's a big surprise. Biggest example of that. And I don't think this is a spoiler. Guy comes and helps out Maya at one point, and he's like, "Come on over to my vehicle where we'll get away." It's like, what do you think's going to happen? You know what I mean? And exactly what you think is going to happen happens to this fella. And I don't know, man. I just kind of wished there was a little bit of shock, a little bit of surprise in some of those sequences that we just didn't get. And also, basically every kill in this movie is off screen too. There's not a single memorable or notable kill in the film.
I was so surprised by that. I'm like, let's go. Let's show some stuff. I mean, she's basically, at the disadvantage. She's trying to get away. She's got 1,000 different reasons to not trust anybody. So I will say that in and of itself was an aspect that I liked as far as the tension, but they didn't pay it off the way that they should have. Like you said, you see everything coming a mile away. There was no real great kill scenes. And again, nothing changed in this movie that was anything different than the end of the first. So it's almost like, okay, now we're going to go into chapter 3, but we haven't even really you didn't give me anything to really eat in chapter 2, unfortunately. And again, I enjoyed it more than the first. Maybe that's a big part of that is because I absolutely hated the first so much. And I can be honest enough about that to say it. But I was really surprised they didn't have anything that stood out with the kills or the moments. There were a couple of dumb parts too, I will say. Like almost like, okay, come on, guys. How does that happen? Like, look, if you tell me Michael Myers could literally come up right next to me right now and get ready to take me out, I could believe it because he's been shown to be able to do that. That's his mythology. He's like the greatest horror ninja of all time. The strangers are not. So if Maya is looking in one direction, and you know the part I'm talking about, Jake, and then she looks into another direction, and all of a sudden, which one? The baby doll character, whoever it was, whichever pinup girl, whatever, is literally right here behind her. I'm calling bullshit because you can't be that quiet
on that creaky wooden floor too. Right? Like, no way, dude. I ain't buying that.
Yes, I'm not buying it, bro.
That scene doesn't make any time too. That's another weird thing about this movie. And I really won't say this one because this is a big spoiler, but there's something that happens that just in terms of a timeline doesn't make sense in the third act and also in the first act, but that's the first act thing's who cares? It's not a big deal. I can look past that one. But in the third act, something happens so illogically quick that it's like, there's no way all of this could have happened with how we discover it. You know what I'm saying? Yep, you know? Exactly. And I'm just like, how did all of this happened in 2 minutes? What? I don't feel like they had when you are dealing with a movie like this that has such a complicated timeline, I feel like you gotta, even if you're not showing it to the audience, you kind of gotta know that, where it is and when it's happening. And I just don't feel like they had that timeline,
I agree, man. There was some weird time moments. I'm like, hold on now. What are we doing here? And people are getting, they're basically pulling a Chad maneuver with some of this stuff too. Like if you get hurt, I'm not going to describe the whole thing, but if you get hurt a certain way, it's like, bro, you need to be done. You don't come back from that. If you're a human being, I mean, you're not even at a Michael Myers level. I'm calling bullshit on that too. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
There were moments like that. I'm like, come on, don't do that. Don't cheapen it anymore. All right. Let me, it's horrible. Let me jump to a couple more comments here. We got tons of them, man. Hollywood guy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Saying, hey guys, what is up? What went wrong with the Stranger series? The originals was good. These are average. rest in peace to Steven. He will be missed. Absolutely, man. There's no doubt about that. Thank you for being here, and also, thank you for the words of encouragement, man. Seriously, we appreciate that. We also have Oliver. What's up, Oliver? Gifting memberships. Thank you so much, Oliver. We appreciate you, and again, thank you for all the text messages and the prayers and the words of encouragement. Again, you guys, um, it just it's amazing. It's all love. Thank you so much, man. Much love to you. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What's up? JT's in the house. Movie Night Collective. Rest in peace, my older brother Steven. I'll never say Sicilian Murphy or Lavender Baby again. Okay. That was thank you. That was good, man. Yeah, we had our moment. Killian Murphy had said he thought that Red Eye was a B movie, and so Steven took offense to that. He's like, wait a minute, you're not talking about Wes Craven like that. So we did this this episode, JT and Steven and I. And JT would call him Sicilian Murphy, and it just stuck every time he, it's like, oh my gosh, funny things, man.
But these are the kind of things that I was talking about even in my video, where it was like, we all have those memories and those like inside jokes and all those things. Like those are the things that you want to hold on to,
Yep. It's so true, man.
You don't want to interrupt you.
No.
Made me think of exactly what the point was. Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, you're absolutely right. Marcus, coming in again. Thanks so much, man. Much love to you. We appreciate you. And Marcus is working on something that I thought was really, really cool. I'll tell you guys about it backstage. But Marcus, you're all right, man. You're all right. Saying I thought it was the clip of the dude singing with the towel on. That's right. He did love that one. Steven's reaction to that was priceless. As soon as it was done playing, everyone on the panel was looking at him to see him react. That is so true. He did love that one. Oh my God. He would always talk about how the guy was like able to hit the high note, because the thing about Steven, it's something that many people may not know or may not know a lot about is Steven was so into music. He was really a gifted musician. So he picked up on that type of stuff. So thank you so much for that memory, man. That was great. Oliver coming in again. Thank you, man. Rest in peace to Steven. I watched him for almost 3 years, came across a community that felt like home. I felt safe, heard, and loved by Steven. Never let a day go by without telling people you love them. Amen, brother. Amen. So true. So true. And you're right. Let's see. And Sarah, thank you for putting that out there. We have a lot of people reaching out to the moderators. We're happy to support you all, but there are certain things we can't discuss, but we're always there for you. And it's true, again, like Tyler said, and Jake said it earlier, we're just trying to make sure that we're respectful of the family and the way that they choose to communicate, we're going to let them do that. We want this stream and our other streams we're going to be doing to be aware of that and respectful of that. So thank you so much, Sarah. You guys, you moderators, I'm telling you, you guys are amazing. Kay, what's up, Kay? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Say, hey guys, I hope you're all doing good. Been thinking of you all this week, and I'm here for you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's crazy, guys. And I know you guys have had so many people. Again, thank you, Kay. I know you guys have had a lot of people reaching out, and it's been absolutely heartwarming and crazy. Even channels that I don't really have that connection with. Shout out to all of you guys, all you content creators, friends and extended friends and so forth. It's been absolutely nuts.
I'm having people reach out to me that like I haven't spoken to in a very long time for whatever reason, you know, and it's kind of been a weirdly wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I've caught up with a lot of great people, and it's unfortunate that it's because of all this, but it has been really nice to just
Yeah.
talk with so many people. I'm still getting through messages of people who have sent me something on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for all the love, guys. So thank you all so much.
So true. It's so true. Same here. Um, we got JT coming in. Thanks, JT. You're all right, man. Thank you for joining us in the memberships. You rock, man. Jerry in the house too. What's up, Jerry? Thank you, and again, thank you, Jerry, as well. Just again, great words of encouragement and love. We can't do this without you. Erica as well. Thank you, Erica. And Erica, and I want to say this too, and Jake, I know that we've said this to you. I know Steven has as well, because Erica helps out on your channel so much, doing so much, and does a fantastic job over there. But she's also helped out on collective streams and our streams, and we can't thank her enough for just kind of just going right in and just being a part of what we do. And Stephen really appreciated that, and,
Yeah.
and he really did. And so again, guys, love wins. It really does. It really
Yes.
does.
Yeah, and I think that's we've been talking a lot about Steven's positivity tonight, and that's something that I think all week I've been thinking, if I can learn anything from him, that's one of the biggest things I hopefully want to take away. Is just finding that in every decision that you make. Try to be a little more positive. Try to be a little kinder to the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like something that I said in the video that I thought was very important was that despite everything that Craven was going through and him getting to the point where we're at, he still showed up, Lethal Collective streams, live streams, made videos with smiles, bells on, despite everything, he still, when it was time for this community, it was forget about me, forget about the pain, forget about everything. I'm going to be here. And that's just, it's such a beautiful thing, because he could have just said I can't, but he wanted to be here. He wanted to do these things. We all know the last stream we were supposed to do was a community stream. That was Craven. We were all supposed to do this last hoorah stream, because he wanted to once again, toughen up and do it for everybody, and because he loved everybody, he loved the community, he loved all of us. So
Yep.
It's just the can't put enough praise on him for going through that, because a lot of people wouldn't. So yeah.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I think that all three of us can attest to doing YouTube and how tough it can be, the roller coaster that it is. And I used to tell him, and I'm sure you guys have too, it's like, I don't know how you do it, man, because this battle and all that entails, and you're still taking on the full responsibility of running a channel at the level he did, with a community at the level that he did, with thinking about, okay, content, I'm going to make content and doing the collective. I mean, I was like, this is crazy. He used to call himself Old Man River, which I was like, bro, you're definitely not Old Man River. You're doing so much, which, by the way, now that makes me the Old Man River now. So thank you, Steven. I appreciate that. But he never was that in my eyes, because he was always, just kind of working on the next thing. We had a lot of conversations about that. Anytime we did, our watch party, our fest, which, by the way, I've got the poster that he came up with behind me. He called me one night. He said, okay, we're doing these watch parties for the fest. He said, Knight, this is kind of what I'm thinking. and it looks kind of like this and that, and we're laughing at each other and just joking around. And I said, okay, well, I'll try something out. I tried it out, and he's like, and I can hear him right now. You know how he used to say, bro, bro. And then I'm like, do you like it? He's like, I love it. You know, and it's like, oh, thank goodness, man. And you know, that it's making me smile now, you know, and I thank him for all of that. So cool stuff, man. We got a couple more. Oh my God, look at this, Jennifer coming in. Jeez, Jennifer. First of all, how are you doing, Jennifer? We haven't had a chance to talk much. We miss you. I hope you're doing okay. Wow, that's unbelievably. It's unbelievable. She says we do life together. Just want to say this is a beautiful motto. We will never forget how much he changed all of our lives. Craven was there when I needed it the most. I'm eternally grateful to him and this community. Thank you all for this community. Love to all. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much. And you're right. You know, we do life together, never alone. And, you know, sometimes when we say things, I just want to say this too. I know I'm ranting a lot tonight, guys, so you have to excuse me. I already
You're
had
good.
warned Jake backstage before we even started. I said, you know, I'm going to try not to rant too much, but you know, a lot of people say things, you know, and they might mean it and mean well by it, but I mean, he lived that.
Yeah.
He truly did. Listen, when we were together on that night, you know, our last time together, he's talking about, you know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna charge forward. You know, I want to talk to you guys as brothers, but we're gonna charge forward, and he's just inviting us into that very personal space, even more personal than, you know, we've been used to a degree. And so he really did live by those mottos. We do life together, never alone. Um, and that's just one of so many things that made him so special. And like you said, Tyler, and I know Jake feels this way, and I do too. It's cool stuff that you can take from him. You know, he made all us better. You know, and I mean that. He really did. So thank you, Jen. Seriously.
Like I said, we're very blessed because we have more than many people do in this situation. I mean, we have, like I said, an entire community. How many people have an entire community to rally behind somebody that's passed and the people that were affected? You know, usually, you know, you have to deal with it just your immediate or whatever. But you know, I mean, we have, you know, hundreds of people that we get to kind of go through this together with. So
Yep, it's true. It is so true. Jack, thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. And I know that Amy had put that out, I think, on his post. Thank you so much. Eric, I love you, brother. Seriously, thank you so much. You know, Eric, another great friend of mine, longtime friend. A lot of words of wisdom, a lot of words of comfort, you know, and sometimes it's crazy because you might think to yourself, well, what can I say? Or this sounds so cliche, or it may not help, but it does. And Eric actually was the first person that I kind of spoke to outside of our circle. And as always, you know, he's there and was just so comforting. So thank you, brother. You know, I love you. Let's see. We got Shannon coming in. Chances that Spyglass can do a Craven Something Scary tribute in Steven's honor. I wish. They already took the core four, right? Right.
They'll honor him by giving him a credit in the next movie for that. That would be great if that could happen.
Wouldn't it, man? Oh my God.
I will say this though, like over on Twitter, like or X, like every like Scream community post or like all the insider people, everybody was posting about him, and we know the Scream like Spyglass and them watch social media.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get something. I mean, if we're being honest, what are the chances? Probably
Mhm.
zero, but you never know. Like, how cool would
Hey.
that be? Imagine you just get a little, in loving memory or something like that. Like that'd be awesome.
Dude, I mean, influencers have popped into some of their favorite franchises before, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what I can't remember her name, but the one girl who like talks about Saw all the time was like the barista in Saw X. I don't know if you guys ever picked up on that little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which is it's like a crazy. It's like, oh my god, no way. It's like that's her. That's that. She's on social media. That's so cool. So I mean, just a little something in the credits. I mean. That's just the editor's gotta type something in. I mean, come on, that would be great. I would love that. It would be would mean the world to Steven,
Yeah, it's so true, man. It is so true. Mark is saying 1,000% correct, Fate. Steven is the epitome of what an Iron Man means. 100. He gave us literally everything he had and then some. By the way, Jake and Fate, check your notifications after the stream. All right,
I will. Marcus, I miss you, buddy.
Right?
I know.
That's what I was saying to him too. I was like, bro, again, all these memories, and there were so many streams that we all did together. You guys remember we used to be on with Steven on late at night. It's friggin' 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
5-hour streams.
Having Nancy Ann on or whoever.
Oh my god,
dude.
I remember going until 4 a.m. with Nancy Ann Ritter, and we were just cracking up. And I had to work at 6 a.m. the next day. I didn't care. I was like, dude, Nancy, we're cracking up with Nancy Ann Ritter behind. I don't even think we were live like the last hour. I think the last hour we were literally just talking.
The backstage stuff was the
dude.
Was
that was the spicy.
Dude,
that was the spicy stuff. That was the.
I don't think we could repeat what she said, but it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was genuine. It's gonna flash before my eyes when I pass.
That was the too dark for television or whatever.
Way too dark.
Way too dark.
Way too bad.
I was crying laughing.
Yeah, and what was funny is, and I said this to Steven afterwards. I like Steven. This was a spicy stream, man. Like, because how Steven, he had his rules, and I always respected that. He was like, I want to try to keep things, PG-13 ish, and it was pretty spicy, and he just laughed. He was like, it was all in good fun. The spirit was all in good fun. We respected people in the audience, and I just looked at him and I'm like, this is another example of how someone can have the highest of standards, and just when you think that there's going to be a crack in the armor, he's like, nope, it was in the right spirit, and my conscience is clear. And I'm like, you're the best, man. You really are.
my favorite though, and I encourage people to go back and watch that stream. His like you could see the reserve Steven in the beginning where he's kind of like, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know, like, do I end the stream? Do I like let this go? Like, I don't want to get in trouble. Like, what is happening? Oh my God, what if somebody watches this? Like, and then as it progressed, you start to see him go from like, not like literally, but like from this to like,
yeah.
All right. And by the end of the stream, he's like fully invested, fully engaged. It's hilarious. Like,
it was just so outrageous. I mean, it was the most outrageous stream. How could you, put a leash on that? It was so crazy. I mean,
once she opened the door, it was on. Like some of the stories she was telling, and even Steven was like, "Oh, really? This happened? Oh, what about this?" And I'm like, bro, we are literally like,
embrace it, enjoy it. Like, this is gold. Like, this is your viral moment.
Yeah. Well, the thing about streams like that, and he had some. I told him, I said, look, man, I just don't know how you do it, because he would go until 3 or 4 or 5, and when I was working my other job, I had more flexibility to do that type of thing. And I can remember a couple times we were right at the end, and he'd be like, man, that was a fun stream. I'm tired, and I'll get ready to let you go. And I'm like, all right, man, we talk. And then half hour later, you're like, well, I know I said I let you go. And I'm like, yeah. But there'd always be another fun aspect of the conversation, another moment to reflect or to say thank you or whatever. And that's what it was like with Steven, I mean, you sometimes on the phone with him, I'd, I'd say to Coriander, I'd be like, Steven's calling, I'm going to be talking to him. And he said, he just needed a couple minutes. She's like, I'll see you in an hour. And usually it was.
There'd be times where you'd be like, hey, can I ask you something real quick? I'd be like, yeah, sure. So you call me, and then it'd be 2 hours later. It's like, because that would spawn into one thing and spawn into another thing, and then all of a sudden you go around, or my favorite would be like, all right, one more thing.
Yeah,
one more thing. One more thing, before you go, or stuff like that, or like in closing. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. In closing. Like
yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
and then
very cool. He was too funny, man. Jack, thanks, man. Obviously we could rant all night about some good memories, so we won't do that. We'll get ready to close up because I know it's getting a little late, but we do have a couple other people. I just wanted to make sure I got to everyone's well wishes and so forth. Marcus is on a roll tonight.
He is.
And I'm just so glad that you're hanging in there. Obviously all of us are hanging in there, but it's just so good to it's good to talk to you, bro. Like Jake said, some folks we haven't had a chance to talk to in a while. But anyways, saying with Matthew returning in 7, when the end credits roll, they should put hashtag for Steven, aka Craven Something Scary. I'd do the Tom Brady yell if they did. Let's go. Yeah, man. Heck yeah. I would too, man. I would absolutely freak out in the theater.
Standing up in theater, clapping.
Yeah.
Everyone looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yep.
Look at this guy. He really liked that movie.
Yeah. This guy really loves some Scream.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing about Marcus real quick before we move on? He is a guy that also just brings some great energy to everything. I drove all the way out to New Jersey one time to go to my first ever horror convention night. That was the first time I ever met up with you, which was awesome. But I also got to meet up with with Marcus, and we we partied. We just partied all night. It was outrageous.
I'm so jealous, man. He told me about that. I was like, man.
I just remember we were driving around and getting food, and I just remember just cracking, just tears streaming down the face. We were just laughing so hard about it. So I can't even remember what it was, but I just remember that I have that memory with him of just cracking up. And it's great. It's always, whenever he pops up, man, it brings a smile to my face. I think about that. So Marcus, I hope you're doing well out there, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It feels like, we're getting, and he said it too in one of his messages to me, we're getting the family, back together. And you're right, man, because on some of the streams that I would be on, or even some of the streams I had, and if Marcus was on, we always cracked up. I mean, it over anything. It could be, we'd be talking obviously Scream, or if we're talking Halloween, and Marcus always has the hot takes with Charlie and stuff like that. And here we go, and we just.
But it's great. Oh man,
it's amazing. It's amazing. That's the magic of what we're so lucky to be able to do.
Absolutely.
That's why we're blessed, man. We all live in different places. Some of us different time zones. Obviously, we have different time zones than, where Steven was and stuff. And it's like, but we still connected over time. We still had that connection. And before I started to do YouTube, I would have never, ever, ever thought that I would create friendships and bonds like that.
Yeah.
It just never entered my mind. I was just like, I'll talk about movies, and some people might like it, and woo, yay.
Well, where else can you go where it doesn't matter what you look like, how you dress, your personality, anything, where you can just go to a community and you're just accepted no matter what. It doesn't there's not very many places in the world period like that. And we've carved out this little corner for us in this community, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
It is. It really, really is. Kelly, thank you too as well. Again, For all the kind words and your wonderful poem, saying I would never have met any of you without Stephen. Thank you all for giving me a place where I feel like I truly belong. Hashtag forever Craven. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. It's special. It's really, really special. Well, guys, as we start to, come towards the end here, any final things that you guys want to say about The Strangers or anything else horror, or about our brother or anything?
Well, I think let's do the horror thing, and then we can kind of do our last like rounds. I just feel weird, kind of like like, oh, so we ate this, and then by the way, like, by the way, so obviously I haven't seen The Strangers too, but just going off of like because you two are a lot more lenient than I am when it comes to movies. So if you
are
two
we though?
Yeah, 1,000%.
I'm just joking.
Without a doubt. Like, I'm a lot more. I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas when it comes to these movies. Like, it's so terrible. You can't get good movies anymore. And I know like
that heart's gonna grow 3 sizes one day.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
I just like, man, even my favorite horror franchise, I'm like super critical on. But so if you guys feel the way you feel about Strangers Chapter 2, I'm probably gonna hate it. But I actually have a non-Strangers related question. Do you guys think The Grabber will become mainstream? They're trying so hard. They're trying so hard to make The Grabber, a modern Freddy, Jason type thing, like this iconic horror character. I don't think they're going to be able to.
I disagree.
I'm not saying he's not bad. I'm not saying he's a bad character.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
Like, I don't think he's going to like. They're trying to raise him up to being like a horror icon, like like the Freddy.
Okay, no,
I don't know if he gets to that status.
All right, Jakey, I'll let you go first.
Let me hit you with this though. Let me hit words. Let me hit you with this because I'm just curious. So Megan, for instance, Megan is a what?
I said dive, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Oh, fuck.
If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
He said he's hitting me with it. So. Sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Justin Long gets smacked in the.
Oh my god,
that movie's hilarious. So funny.
I love that movie.
It's been so long.
I'm ruining your rant, Jake. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good. So like for me at least, I classify like horror like honest to God, I would go so far as to say that I think you can be a horror icon simply from if it's recognizable enough. Yeah. I think there are different tiers to it. You know what I mean? Like I think there's like he ain't touching no Freddy Krueger. You know what I'm saying? But like I think if somebody was walking around Halloween night with a grabber mask on, majority of people would know who that is. Same thing with Megan. I feel like if someone's wearing that, the dress with the blonde hair, it's like, oh look, it's Megan. Yeah. And I don't even think those movies are phenomenal. I don't think they're the best horror movies of the decade by like not even by far, but I think they've hit enough to where people would recognize these characters as icons.
Moment,
how do you like, but how do you feel about it? I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
In the moment.
For me?
Well, yeah, both of you. Yeah. But Tyler, how would you classify a horror icon? Is my question. Maybe we just define that differently.
Last the test of time is like iconic, like like Ghostface, Freddy Krueger,
of course,
Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, right? Like even
Chucky.
Yeah, like Chucky. Like there's characters that they've just stood the test of time, and then there's like the mainstream, like. Like you're saying, like The Grabber, like right now, Megan, The Grabber, like things like this, people would recognize. But 10 years from now, somebody's wearing a Grabber mask. Are people going to be like, oh, The Grabber? Or is it talked about in the mainstream? Like Jason, to this day, talked about. Freddy, to this day, talked about. Like everything. I don't think The Grabber is going to have the grab that those other characters have, like, on horror. Like, I think it's a character that, like, yeah, like if you see it 5 years from now and somebody like, oh, I remember that movie. That was great. But I don't think it's going to be mainstream. Like we haven't gotten a Nightmare on Elm Street film in like 20 years. And people still talk about Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street and every opportunity. Other
Yeah.
shows constantly incorporating Freddy into things and stuff like that. I don't think things like The Grabber. I'm also curious about even Art, like Art the Clown. Like, will Art the Clown?
We'll still be talking about him.
I'm
We'll
not
still
saying
be
he
talking about
won't.
him.
I think he has a much better chance. Yes, without a doubt. But I also wonder if he could, because I think he's like right now the tier down. But there's a lot of that, like the current hype over the last few years. Like, I'm curious to see like what happens when the Terrifier movies stop. Like, what is that gravity around Art? I think Art has much more. I think he's more likely to be a horror icon, but I don't think The Grabber is. And I feel like they're trying to push it almost too hard, and I think it's making it worse. We're just like, those things happen naturally, right? People just naturally gravitate towards, like The Creeper, things like that, like just naturally gravitate towards it, where I feel like they're trying to like spoon feed you it rather than
I think here's my thought on it. Like, yeah, we can't talk about it right now. The second movie hasn't even come out, and this second movie, from what it appears to be, I mean, this could be, that turning point. I mean, if you look at Elm Street, yeah, the original is the classic, but Dream Warriors is what really, like, that was their coming out party. And you could tell, like, you could literally tell they knew, like, okay, it's time. We got Jason out there, we got Michael Myers, he's chilling out, but now we're gonna really take Freddy to another level. And I think that, for the Black Phone 2, and we said it, I think, last week on your thing, Jake, and maybe even the other week on our other Thursday night stream. I think if the Black Phone 2 is good, and they really hit, obviously Ethan Hawke has the talent, and and this character has the look. That's the thing, man. You got to have the look, you got to have the presence, you got to have the story, and you got to hit people. And it's definitely got the elements. Now, right now, we can't say anything about being an icon, but if this does well, and we get, a couple other good movies, I'm just saying, man, because, I mean, think about it. We don't have anyone else really other than Art in the last several years, as far as like that newer tier of horror villain or whatever. So I do think it's quite possible, he could be elevated. He's not going to be Freddy. Who's going to be Freddy?
Yeah.
No one's going to be Freddy.
Are they going to end up making him too much Freddy? Is my problem.
So you're worried that people are sick of him, though? Because I don't feel that. I really don't feel that people are sick of the Grabber yet.
I mean, the Grabber, we're only on movie 2. I don't really think people can be sick of him. But I'm saying, like, it seems like they're trying to make it a modern collection of characters rather than, like, how heavy are they going to lean into like the Freddy mythos, right? It kind of feels like they're trying to make a modern Freddy, and copycats usually don't bode well. I'm not saying that that's full-fledged what they're trying to do, but it just feels that way. And like I said, usually there's a natural gravity towards those iconic characters, right? Like, it doesn't have to be kind of spoon-fed to you like they're trying to do right now, right? Like,
well, I mean, I think if we go back and look at 1984, I obviously Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, that was a huge hit that basically put New Line on the map. But I don't know if I'm sure there was people having same exact conversations just like this back in 1984 about Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Freddy's probably the worst example, because he exploded in ways that even Michael and Jason didn't. I mean, they had Robert Englund on talk shows and it was like a phenomenon. Like,
this is Ethan Hawke playing the Grabber, though. I'm not saying they're in league with each other. I'm not saying that by any means, but I do think that the Grabber is a recognizable character enough, more so than like something like, let's say, the Ginger Dead Man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like more people would recognize that.
Iconic. There's there's a lot of
I don't know
athletes that are iconic that are recognizable.
You definitely have a point about standing the test of time, but I feel like we're not going to know that until 5 years from now. As of right now, it's a recognizable character that people will show up for. There's a fan base. I mean, that first movie made a fuck ton of money. That's why we're even getting a sequel in the first place.
Right. Yeah, but it felt like a movie that you didn't need a sequel for. Like, it felt
that's absolutely true.
I totally agree, but But when I saw that first trailer, I was sold. I'm like, dude,
Right?
icy Freddy Krueger movie. Like, you're just gonna, because here's honest to God, I'm rooting for this movie so much, and I wasn't. Tyler, I was like, so like I'm like, why would they make a sequel? It's gonna be a dumb cash grab. What?
Yep.
Then I saw the trailer, and what immediately came to mind was that interview where Jason Blum is talking about how, oh, Robert Englund, he's not that old. I'm getting him back in the makeup. I'm gonna force him to do it. Like, it just kind of sounded like he was almost like kind of crazy. He's like, I'm putting a pitchfork to his back. We're making this happen. It's like, oh my God, to me, what this whole Black Phone 2, what this is Blumhouse saying we can make a Nightmare on Elm Street film, and we're going to do it pretty damn well, and modern and different, something you haven't seen before. And I think it could totally work.
But the good thing about it too is that the original, because I really enjoy the original, and I saw it in the theater, and I maybe saw it twice after, but I watched it again, because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I talked about it on a Monday night and stream, and they were setting up all the breadcrumbs in that first movie, with all the supernatural stuff. And it's funny because after seeing the trailer for Black Phone 2 and all the hype that I have, I'm on the same path with you, Jake. I did not want a sequel. I was like, look, this movie was a great standalone. It's absolutely freaking stupid to think that, especially when I heard Ethan Hawke was coming back, I'm like, what are we doing? A prequel? How are they going to do a sequel?
Right.
And I didn't really see the possibilities. And then I was watching that original movie, and I'm like, the breadcrumbs were there. I mean, think about the difference between, as much as I love 84 Elm Street, there's a huge difference in a way as far as what they did in that movie and what they did in Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors, Freddy is flexing. I mean, he is lollygagging all the way from the beginning of the film to the end. And they did that on purpose to go in that direction. So to me, it's not far-fetched to think that there's a chance. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I'm just saying it's not far-fetched for me to feel as though there's a chance that Black Phone 2 could just take off and bring this character and these movies into a higher level of awareness for the horror community.
Well, and one last thing I'll say I'll just real quick throw out here is I feel like this is going to do exactly what In a Violent Nature did for Friday the 13th fans. There's a lot of people who want a new Friday film. Not everybody liked that flick, but there was enough Friday the 13th fans who were satisfied with it to garner another sequel. Like, we have a new In a Violent Nature film on the horizon. I think Black Phone 2 is going to do exactly that with Nightmare on Elm Street fans, who I would argue are maybe an even bigger base.
Yeah, well, hell, I mean, yeah.
So two things. One, first off, I'm disappointed in you, Jake, for not using Killjoy as like your reference when you said Gingerbread Man.
You're so right.
Killjoy is, he's not an icon, and like your name is after him. So
I am definitely named
really
after that random character.
Jesus.
I'll look past it this time. But two, but that's my concern, right? Like, yes, Violent Nature in essence of Friday the 13th. But how much is this? How much are they going to turn the grabber into Freddy is my concern. Like you even said, like kind of having a modern Nightmare on Elm Street. And that's what this feels like. They're trying to create a modern Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
But again, you'll never be Nightmare on Elm Street. So it's like the Kobe Jordan debate, right? So many people are like, Kobe can never be better than Jordan because he's a clone of Jordan, right? So it's like, okay, well, how can you be how can you be?
You know what? I agree, Tyler. I agree, but
Jason had that issue with Michael.
But Jason's an icon though, totally on his own.
But after they changed, you got to remember the first movie had nothing to do with Jason.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a very, very unique situation, right? It was. Go ahead.
Can I just say this? I feel that you're right. I don't think it's going to surpass Nightmare on Elm Street, satisfaction, but it's in a unique position where there's no new Nightmare flicks coming out because of the legal situation.
Correct.
And there is, like you said, people love Freddy Krueger. They want more of that if we could get it. And honest to God, dude, I think if there were new, Nightmare on Elm Street flicks, new Friday the 13th movies coming out right now, that would be the biggest thing people were talking about. Listen, I love Scream, and Scream is always going to be huge, and they're probably going to make a gazillion of them moving forward. But I'm like, dude, Freddy and Jason. I mean, oh my God, like the '80s nostalgia. Like, I think everybody kind of likes '80s nostalgia now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, dude,
it's in vogue.
It's yes, yeah. Even if you didn't grow up during that time period, you're just like, yeah, '80s slashers, let's go, baby. If those two movies were coming out at the same time, building up to a new Freddy versus Jason, I mean, it would be the craziest fucking shit that any of us would ever talk about in this decade. So to me, there's a void there, there's a vacuum currently with the Nightmare on Elm Street fans. Can we fill that? Can we build up excitement and get that crowd to show up for this movie? And if they deliver a good product, I'll give you there's a big if there. I really think that they could make this into a horror franchise, a shocking and surprising one that I don't think anyone realized we needed.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's iconic, right?
Not yet.
Well, nothing is going to be iconic for years.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, Freddy Krueger was pretty iconic right out the gate. Oh, hi, Socks.
But the thing about Freddy,
Scream was pretty iconic right out the gate. Like, I mean, look at how many Scream copycats have been. There have been,
that's true,
like, those clear, like, okay, this is Saw right out the gate, right? Conjuring right out the gate. There have been quite a bit of franchises and movies that you knew right out the gate. Like, this is going to be something. The Creeper, Jeepers Creepers, you knew right out the gate.
The only thing I want to disagree with is I just feel like, Freddy 2, Nightmare 2 comes out and it's not very well received.
It was like a fart in church.
It was like a fart in church, man. And I mean, it has since people have come back to it. But, when that movie came out, which I believe was a year later, right? Wasn't it like almost 5? It was exactly a year later. I could totally see people saying like, well, I guess Freddy was a flash in the pan. I could totally see that being a take at the time. I wasn't alive. But what do I know? But I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
But you're right. It was a flash in the pan type of thing, and they came back with Dream Warriors, and that totally changed the whole trajectory, not only of Elm Street but of the slashers. And and I've said this many times before. When you talk about Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Elm Street, you could literally see it. In the historical context, they were helping each other. Friday the 13th was cloning Halloween, but then Friday the 13th opened up this whole golden age of slashers. Halloween 2 comes out, and John Carpenter's like, we got to make it a little bit more gory like Friday the 13th. Then Freddy comes out in 84, and that really helped to elevate Friday the 13th. Halloween comes back in 88 with Halloween 4, because obviously in 3 Michael wasn't in it, so he comes back in 88. And then you have Chucky, and you've got the Tall Man coming back with Phantasm 2. I mean, and I guess what I'm saying is Elm Street was kind of like right in the heart of all that, and because of Wes and Robert's charisma, they just took it to the moon, man. He was on MTV, bro. He had toys. He was popular in overseas.
They had the TV show. They created the TV show. What was it? Freddy's Nightmare?
There was nothing he couldn't do. He rapped with the Fat Boys, guys. Okay, that's what he did.
That's how you achieve icon status. We got the that's the answer right there. That's the okay. We got it.
So the grabber needs to rap with Drake.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. If the grabber can save Drake's career, then he's an icon. That's what he's got to do. That's Jason. Someone get Jason Blum on the phone, baby.
All of a sudden, the grabber's gonna join Young Money.
Oh jeez.
Oh man.
Real quick too in the chat, I'll catch up to you guys. I know as we're ending up, but we are. Val saying all I'm going to say is Sleepaway Camp 2. Laugh out loud. Let me just say this, and for a lot of you guys were there. There was some fantastic, obviously a lot of fantastic streams, celebrations, lethal streams, but watch parties, guys. I mean, seriously, Steven was a gem. There were times that we were laughing so hard. I mean, and it is just amazing. And Val, you just made me think of Sleepaway Camp 2, where Steven was losing it on camera. He started to like dry heave because of a scene with this camper in an outhouse. And it was so funny because we kept messing with him, referencing it. And he was like, no, no, oh, oh. And he's laughing and dry heaving. Oh, God. Amazing stuff, man. I'll never forget it. I still have those streams. He still has those streams as well, guys. Watch some of them. If you have a night where you don't have anything going on, if you're feeling a little lonely, a little low, get ready to hang out, with him and whoever else was there. We've been there. A lot of us have been on those streams. It was fun. It was so much fun. So thank you for sharing that, Val. That really just it just brought back such a great memory. Seriously. Um, Also, Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer too. Um, 2025 has been rough. Lost my dad in April, so losing Craven as well has been so hard. So happy to have this community. Saying thank you to May for just being amazing as May is, as all of you guys are. Jennifer, we're so sorry. Seriously, we love you, and I know what it's like to lose a parent too, and it is horrible. So much love to you, and we are here for you. We really are. I just wanted to make sure I said that to our good friend Jennifer. Ben coming in. Ben, thank you so much, man. Glad that you could come in. Say, hey guys, I made it. Can't wait for Black Phone 2. Bone Lake is a lot of fun, by the way. Okay. All right.
Seeing
Very
that one
cool.
tomorrow. I'm
You
excited.
are?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Ben, thank you so much, brother. Much love to you, and thank you for all of your encouragement. Davey in the house, too. What's up, Davey? Hope you're doing well, brother. Saying sending all the love to you guys and everyone in the community. Rest in peace, Stephen. Love that you guys are honoring his memory and keeping him alive in our hearts. Thank you so much, man. And, this is a great example of just so many content creators. Davey is awesome. There's so many content creators, that are in our extended family. I mean, we're talking about maybe 70, 80 different channels that somehow know each other and know us or whatever. And um it's good to have that brotherhood. um and if anything, like we said earlier, if anything that I've learned from Steven, let's have more of it, guys. Let's all enjoy each other as much as we can, hang out, communicate, make more memories, and say I love you more, because there's no shame in that. I looked at my phone the other day, and when we were trying to prep for the Saturday stream, and he was asking me to help with some stuff because there were some things he couldn't do. One of the last things he said, I love you so much, bro. You know, I'm never gonna get rid of that text. Um, in our text thread, he said that so many times. It's like, make the most of the moments, bro. But thank you, Davey. We appreciate you, brother, and hope that you're hanging in there. Um, Danny, what's up, man? Good to see you. Saying, hey, Knight, Jake, and Fate. Hope you guys are doing as okay as can be. Keep on the grind for Steven. Knight, I DM'd you earlier today on IG. It's still very surreal. My condolences to everyone. Brother, I'm telling you, it is. It is very surreal. But thank you so much for reaching out, man. Hope you've been doing well as can be, obviously. But we appreciate you. Hollywood guy coming in again. Thank you so much, brother. Saying, hot take. I found Jake's channel. He was talking about horror. Then he spoke about Craven, and I asked Jake for the link. Then I found Craven and this family. Thank you, Jake. There it is.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
There it is.
That's spreading the love.
It is, man. I mean, if you think about so many people that came on one of our streams or whatever it may be, the lethal or whatever, it's just crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
I got a lot of comments from people that were like, I found you know, like I found you through Craven or vice versa. Like, you know, I found you first, and then you mentioned Craven, and you and Craven were ranting about Stu and like
Mm-hmm.
you know stuff like that, or you know somebody found Knight and then found Jake and then found me, and then like you know it's just it shows the you know what we all when we got together, right? That was the whole point. Like, hey man,
It
let's
was.
we don't have to do this alone. Let's all do it together, right? So it's been a beautiful thing. You know?
It has, man. I'll never forget that when Steven first told me, um, you know, that conversation and saying, yeah, you know, Killjoy Jake and Fate Decided. And I'm like, yeah, I know Jake. I mean, I didn't know Jake, but I obviously had
You're
watched
welcome.
Jake, and and it was like, yeah, let's do that. I remember the first time we were all on, and we were doing this. We were just talking. We were just like just vibing, and I remember he said to me, he said, yeah, this could be really cool. And I was like, yeah, it could. And I'll never forget when we were first thinking of the name. But by the way, no one has yet figured out
You
what
figured out the actual name, yeah,
the
the
actual
original
name,
name.
the
Yeah.
original name of the collective. And it's right in front of
I
you.
still think we should have used that name. Okay,
Dude,
It's so funny.
I still do.
so funny.
Steven's the one that talked us out of it, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Steve? Let me just say this too. So Tyler says it, and you know, and obviously Jake and I are like, yeah, I'm not gonna give it away because it's still the ultimate secret. And we're like, it makes total sense. And of course, Tyler's like, yeah, and Steven, the look on Steven's face
It
is
was
like,
like
White as a ghost, just
flabbergasted.
like
yeah, he's
well,
like,
flabbergasted.
well, and wait, so he was kind of like, I'll think about it, guys. And I just remember the next morning, I think he sent us this like long message. He's like,
Yes.
he's like, I got people in my life. I don't think they would be okay with that
Yeah.
name. Like he was, dude, it was, I don't know. It's one of the funniest things. I mean, it
was
still makes me
great.
laugh.
It
And I
was
felt
great.
so bad.
And then he was like,
Yeah.
maybe we can do like a T-shirt one day or
Yes.
something.
Yeah,
Like that.
that's,
Remember?
yes,
He's like,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, he's
Yeah.
like, maybe we can do something one day with it, but he's like, it can't be the channel name.
Yeah, it was so again, listen, and I've said this to him. I think you guys will agree. I told him, I said, he's the best at he can maneuver. You throw a curveball at him, he knows what he's boom, 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 like split seconds. He could always do that. And this was a moment where we're trying to put this thing together. We're talking about ideas, you know, we're having fun, we love each other, we're thinking about the name. And Tyler keeps saying it, and I'm vibing with it. Jake's vibing with it. And Steven is just like slamming the brakes. And I remember one point thinking to myself, you know, you're probably right. You know, Steven's the moral compass of this
Yeah.
whole thing. We're on the edge of the cliff about the jump, and Steven's like, no, don't do it.
Guys, come back. Yeah.
Hilarious. But
Well,
when
it's
he
always
said,
like that though, because
oh,
like
yeah,
even
yeah.
like when me and Jake were like, hey, we should like do a Twitter beef just for fun. Craven was the one that was like, be careful, guys. Like that could go very bad. And then me and Jake like, and then all of a sudden all these factions started taking place. And me and Jake,
Oh my God, it was a whole thing, dude.
They
That was so
did.
funny.
people
I
were
remember-
messaging me like, so we hate Jake now? And I was like,
Yes.
no.
I
Like,
remember people were messaging me like, well, whose side are you on? I'm like, bro, they're my brothers. What are you talking about?
I was like, it was a joke. It carried
Well,
over from the stream. Like we were joking about it in stream, and it carried over.
But
We
it
were
was
just-
like the dumbest things that we were saying to each other on
Yeah, it
Twitter
was
too.
just
Like
like
the fact
some-
that anyone was taking it seriously was so funny
Yeah.
to me. I was just
It
like,
was- it
what?
was the greatest.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to keep it going, but Craven was the one that was like, guys,
He was.
like,
Well, a few of the I won't say who, but a few of the bigger like Scream pages started
Yeah.
posting things, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, we gotta stop this, you know?
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. Oh my god,
It was crazy. Like it was actually kind of
I
nuts.
get a couple messages from those people that are like, "What happened? I think you guys are like best friends." And I was
I
like,
know.
"We are." Like
I-
we're
yeah.
just joking. It's just like like we're just toying around. Like I was like, read the messages. Like,
Right.
like,
Right.
they're not like I hate. Like it was like joke stuff. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like anything serious. It was like
They're like, you
know,
guys are beefing? I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, it was so
It's like-
funny.
Crazy stuff. But you know, we say that to say, as always, Stephen was that moral compass, you know, and he could do it in such a great way. Because, like you said, Tyler, first thing he says, well, maybe we could do a T-shirt. It is like, Yeah, maybe. It's like he could win you over so easily, effortlessly. He really could. It was
You're trying to
crazy.
distract us over here so we'd forget over here.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And I to say my piece on all of this, I said this on a few of my streams this week, but I'll say it again because it really is true. And I think covering this, we're getting into the marketing for Scream 7, and I'm very bummed that Steven's not here. But what I will say, guys, is that I think I have to be completely honest with my audience here. I'm going to be so biased. No matter what Scream 7 is, I am going to love it because I'm going to be thinking about my friend Steven when I'm watching it. And I know deep in my heart that he would just love it, whatever it ends up being. So I'm gonna just throw it out there now. I'm going to have a completely biased, like capital B biased review of this film. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that right now. But I don't even care. I'm really excited to sit down in theaters and hopefully watch that movie in spirit with him, So that was kind of something I've been saying on streams lately, and I really, really, really do mean it from the bottom of my heart.
I said in the video that I made, I was like, if Stu is in this movie, I know I'm gonna have a dream about Steven. He's gonna be like, "Ha ha! I told you!" Like, I already hear him. He's like, if he's ever gonna haunt anybody, it's gonna be me because Stu's in this film. I was like, dude, he's gonna be popping into my dreams like, so Fate, what do you think, huh? I was like,
yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you what, man, and you're so right. Like watching the movie, I'm just gonna have this lens where, I want to enjoy it anyways. But now I'm gonna have this lens of like just that love that he has for the franchise was just so powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally was drawing strength from it. You remember when he was saying that? I'm getting pepped up, and it's like, man. It's just a lovely thing to see. So I agree. I'm gonna have that vibe, and I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I'm telling you two right now. If this shakes out the way Steven wanted it, and we got Stu and things are happening, I'm gonna be honest, and I can be honest enough to say this. I'm gonna drop a tear first, and then I'm just gonna be like pumped up, excited. I'm probably gonna text you guys, obviously if I know you guys have already seen it, and just like, oh my God. And we're gonna party. We're gonna party about it, seriously, because that's what he wanted. He was that type of a fan. He was a great example of a fan with passion.
He was.
He really was.
I will say, I've had a lot of comments from people saying like, you got to join the Stew train now. And I want to say, I'm still not joining the Stew train. And Steven wouldn't want me to join the Stew train for this purpose. Okay.
That's right.
Like, he always wanted me on the Stew train, but he wanted me to come around to the idea. He wanted me to like, fluffing up to the idea.
Yep.
So,
it's so true.
Yeah. I had a lot of people that like, come on, Tyler, you gotta go, or come on, Fade, or whatever. Like, you gotta join the Stew train now. And I was like, no, like Steven would be screaming at me. Like, that's not why you're supposed to. Like, he wanted me to join the Stew train for a very specific reason. He wanted me to embrace it. And I'll never embrace it. Like,
when he did the People versus Stu Macher, it was so much fun. And obviously, Jake, you remember that too. I mean, we had meetings. I was like, bro, this is next level. I mean, I know when I try to do special streams, I obviously put a lot of effort for me into it. Steven was having meetings, documents with our bullet points and everything. And I'll never forget, he once said to me, he was like, I want this to be the type of thing that when people watch it, even like our good friend Tyler, that it doesn't necessarily change his mind. It just puts that little pebble in his shoe, that little thought in his mind.
Drop like little.
He was
planting little seeds in my head.
He was.
The betrayal. I was on to him. I knew.
Yep.
He's made me love the character of Stu more than I already do, though. I gotta say that. Like he really does. And it's Matthew's performance just from that one movie is so impressive, but you find more things about it when you talk to somebody who just loves and appreciates even more things about the character. You know what I mean? And Craven was that guy. I love the way he spoke about the things he loved about that original movie, man.
I know. And it was poetic, and you could just tell he knew that movie through and through. Like I know I love that movie, and I've always loved that movie. And I can talk about it right and left, but when he would talk about it, you could just you know what I'm saying? Like it's just something extra there. I know I feel that way sometimes, if I'm talking about Halloween, or Friday the 13th, because those were my first horror movies, And with Steven, you're right. He made me I already loved Stu, but every time I would watch him after becoming friends with Steven, I was drawn into him even more. And it was just like, wow, this is crazy. you
Mhm.
know? So, anyways, um, as we head on out, Carrie, as well, thank you for being here, Carrie. We miss you so much, and thank you for reaching out. And we know that this hits hard for you as well. Saying was at work. Much love to you guys, and of course to Stephen. Uh, Thank you, Carrie. Seriously, we miss you and we love you. Sarah and Val, Julie, May, Erica, thank you so much for everything tonight, putting in the links. You guys know what to do. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to Jake or Fate, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed to Craven Something Scary, right now, you can leave the stream, go over there. You will not, and I've said this so many times when we do this, but I mean it. You won't be disappointed. You won't, because you're gonna get so much love and warmth and kindness, and someone that really, his passion for movies was like the vehicle to reach the heart of people. Um, and you could tell that in everything he did. Trust me, if you don't know him, and even had some people that, they would message me, maybe they knew me or us maybe a little bit more than Steven, but they would say, I wish I got a chance to meet him, and I didn't know him that well. Get to know him.
Yeah.
Get to know him. He's so amazing. The first time I ever um, saw Steven, he had left a comment in one of my streams. He would come to some streams, and I'm like, oh, cool, Movie Brothers. Oh, that sounds cool. Checked out a video, and I was just impressed. There was a vibe, him and Michael, lifelong friends, brothers, and Michael's amazing, of course, but Steven, he just had that, and they're great together, they're like the odd couple type of vibe, and I love it, right? And so Steven would start messaging and this and that, and it was just something. I've said this many times, and I said it to him. His words leapt off of the screen when I read them in comments, and it made me curious about him. And I'm so glad that he decided to befriend all of us, because I don't even know if I'd still be doing YouTube if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
I really don't. So
I mean, it was great to just like the first time he reached out. Like I was relatively new. I had a couple thousand subs, but he was like, he wanted to do the Scream thing. Jake did it too, and all that stuff. And he was just so like, I'm shooting my shot type thing. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. He was just so like, oh my god, really? And it was just like, yeah, like it was a fun moment. And then fast forward to Lethal Collective, and I remember me and him talk. I was like, hey, I really want to kind of, because I actually got this idea from sports. So I was like, hey, like they had the panels. So I was like, hey, we should do something like that, like a part of my take type thing. And he was like, I know exactly what you're talking. He's like, great, I got just the people. And then he introduced me to Unite, and then Jake, I think I already met at that point, but through Craven. But I mean, Craven brought all of us together.
yeah,
Like we all met through Craven, because Craven was the first one I met, and then I met Jake through Craven when he was doing the stream thing, and then when we did the collective thing, and we had that first meeting where we were going to talk about it. He brought you in, Night, and Jake, and all that. So yeah, it was cool. Like, so I mean, even us becoming friends is because of Craven.
Yep.
Like we wouldn't even have known each other if it wasn't for Craven. So I mean,
Yep.
that's what he did. He brought people together.
He did. He saw something in us. He saw possibilities. We never talked like that on a screen backstage before, and when we did, I couldn't believe it. I mean, there are a lot of great content creators, and I've had a lot of amazing friends and guests and stuff like that. But very rarely do I, you start talking to someone, and you just click like that,
Yeah.
especially with 4 people. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
But
even the
he
first
knew.
Lethal stream was so natural. Like it was like,
Yes.
I mean, we even talked about it backstage after. We were like, man,
Yep.
that was great. Like it was so like such a flow. Like it was awesome. Like, it
Yep.
just he was right.
Yep, he was right. He was the man. Barb, thank you as well for stopping in and for all the kind thoughts. Stephen had such a positive energy. While I had never met him in person, I was emotional over the world losing a good person. Absolutely, Barb. And he had a lot of love for you as well. He used to talk about the stream that we did when we did the watch party for P2, and he's like, "Oh, Barb was amazing." I'm like, "Right? Yeah." He was just that type of guy. He loved everyone. Um, Marcus saying Jake almost led us to the wrong type of journey. I will always cherish that memory. Love you guys. Thank you for the kind words. Oh man.
I gave him the wrong. That's what it was. I gave him the wrong direction, and
Oh.
and I think we were driving all over the highway or something. We were literally trying to get to McDonald's. Like I think we were literally going to McDonald's. Like it was like half a mile down the road or something, and I fucked up the directions. And we were just laughing about it.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, Marcus, so much love to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Absolutely. And he says, I think this is pretty much everything. Just know he loves you guys and everyone here in the community. He will always be with us. Absolutely, man. There's no doubt about it at all. Jason, thank you for being here as well. Yeah, for Wes, this stream is for Craven. Everything's going to be for Craven,
Yeah.
at least in our eyes.
Yeah.
So guys, we're gonna. Julie said, "How did you miss the golden arches?"
I don't know.
Oh. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this, being here tonight, and all the well wishes. And I hope, in speaking with Jake and Tyler, and I spoke with Coriander, I spoke with Val, I spoke with a lot of folks, my brother Eric. We just hope that everyone can, continue to walk together in all of this and lean on each other. There's been a lot of tough days. There's going to be a lot of other tough days, but having a horror community, a space like we do, it is very special. And Stephen never took that for granted. And so I know for me, having not said much publicly, part of what kicked me in the butt, it was almost like he was kicking me in the butt too, saying, "Bro," he used to say it all the time, "Bro," and we wanted to be here for you guys as well, and to have some good moments. So we're gonna keep walking. Help us along the journey. We'll try to help you along the journey. And like I said, for my brother, I wasn't going to do that. He was the best. He really was. So we love you, Steven. Jake, Tyler, I love you guys.
Love you too.
So much love, man.
You guys as well, man. Thank you so much. You guys kept messaging and checking in on each other and me, and I probably didn't say that enough to you guys, and I'm sorry about that.
We know. Don't worry about it. You don't gotta say it. We know it.
I know. All right, guys, we're gonna head on out. We will see you next time, and we love you guys.
Love you guys.
And the collective has spoken. We'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Much love.
Love you, Craven.